Hey everyone, welcome to the Canine Culture Podcast, where we talk about everything dog. Q&As with veterinarian professionals, rescue operators, everyday topics. We cover everything dog on this podcast. So make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform, and make sure you're following us on social media on both Instagram and Facebook. Thanks again for listening. Now here's that next episode. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 20 of the Canine Culture Podcast. Today, the title of the episode is Can My Dog Eat This? And we're going to be going over toxic foods versus safe foods for dogs, really emphasizing those toxic foods. You know, it's summer, it's cookout season, barbecue season, so we just want to make sure we're not giving our dogs anything that might cause them any harm, an upset stomach, a blockage, anything like that. And really, this is applicable year-round, of course, but the topic seemed fitting for the summertime. So let's jump right in. So the very first food on this list are nuts. So got a couple of different nuts to talk about. The first one being almonds. So almonds are hard for dogs to digest, and they can cause an upset stomach. Second on the nut list, we have walnuts. Walnuts contain a toxin that can cause seizures and neurological issues in dogs. Same thing with hickory nuts. You've next got pistachios. Pistachios are rich in fat. They can cause an upset stomach, or even worse, they could cause pancreatitis. Similarly, the macadamia nut, those are also very high in fat and can also cause pancreatitis. Second food on the list here, as far as toxic foods, is going to be garlic. So garlic is very toxic and can cause substantial damage to a dog's red blood cells. It doesn't take much at all. Garlic is very highly concentrated. So the smallest amount of garlic could be lethal to your dog. So it's really important that your dog does not get into garlic. Next, number 3 on this list would be onions. So very much the same as garlic. It's in that same family, but it's extremely toxic, especially in smaller amounts, damaging to the red blood cells, and could potentially cause death. Number 4, alcohol. So dogs would absorb alcohol very quickly, and it can cause a number of issues, from neurological issues, issues with the liver, issues with the kidney, just really no reason for your dog to have any alcohol. Number 5, fat trimmings and bones. So you might think back to, your grandparents or great-grandparents who used to throw out the old chicken bones to your dogs.
Oh, he's just yakking on a bone. He got it up.
It's actually kind of dangerous to give your dogs those bones. So those bones can cause an obstruction or a blockage. They can splinter off, causing damage to the digestive tract or even to the dog's throat. So just best rule here, don't give out those fat trimmings and bones. Number 6 on the list is caffeine.
World's best cup of coffee.
So caffeine can cause irreparable damage. Again, really no reason for your dog to get into it, but if your dog does get into it, you're going to want to contact either the Toxic Control Center or maybe even your local hospital. Number 7 on the list are grapes and raisins. So these are much in the same family. Grapes and raisins can cause vomiting, upset stomach, diarrhea, can even lead to kidney failure. So just avoid these in all amounts. Sick. Number 8 is xylitol. So xylitol is a tricky one. It's a sweetener, and it's not always apparent what food it's in. Sometimes it's in peanut butter, and we know that, most of the time peanut butter in small amounts is safe for your dog. But you really want to be careful and check that label for xylitol. So this is going to go for anything that you might regularly give to your dogs. Some people use like a Greek yogurt whenever they're doing an at-home meal plan for their animals. And so just ensuring that there is no xylitol in the food. Xylitol can cause a sudden increase in insulin circulation that could cause liver failure. Number 9 on the list here is chocolate.
Do you want a chocolate?
So you guys have probably heard this. Chocolate could be deadly to your dog. but especially dark chocolate. So the darker the chocolate, potentially the more dangerous due to the chemicals that are in it. So there's a number of other foods that we didn't go over, but I really think those are kind of top 9. I know some of them were inclusive of others, but those are really the top ones that you're going to want to avoid. And then on the opposite side of this are some of the safe foods. So one of those items being carrots. A lot of dogs really love carrots, whether they're cooked or raw. It's just a great option to give your dogs. Next are apples. You, of course, want to be mindful to remove the seeds, to probably remove most of the core, potentially removing that peeling as well. Sometimes if your dog can't chew it very well, they might just swallow it and get choked on it. But generally, apples is a very safe food. White rice. So white rice is a good option, especially if your dog is having any GI issues. You've probably heard the recommendation of like a boiled chicken and white rice. So white rice is a pretty safe bet. You're not going to add any seasonings. You're just going to make it with water. Very easy to give to your dog. Which kind of leads to the next one, which is chicken.
It's the chicken man!
So chicken is generally also safe. You, of course, don't want it to be fried. You don't want to cook it with any seasonings. Just the idea of maybe just grilling it or broiling it or even baking it, but just a plain chicken breast. And then finally, to keep it top of mind for safe foods to give to your dogs is going to be salmon. Salmon can be a good choice for especially those healthy omega-3s and those good fats for your dog. So I would love to hear from you guys on any foods that you love to give to your dog, that your dog loves to eat. Maybe if you're doing a raw diet, I would also love to hear what you're including in the raw diet. I know a lot of people include eggs and different green veggies and coconut oil, and I didn't jump into any of that today, but would love to discuss this with some of you. So you can always write in to the Canine Culture Podcast at gmail.com. Also follow us on social media. We are on Instagram and Facebook. And of course, share this podcast with any of your friends. The podcast is released on Apple and Spotify. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to the Canine Culture Podcast. Please make sure you subscribe to the Canine Culture Podcast on your favorite podcast platform and make sure you're following us on social media. If you have any recommendations, any topics that you'd like to hear, if you know of any guests that would be good for the show, or if you yourself want to be a guest, please reach out to us. Send us an email at canineculturepodcast@gmail.com or send us a direct message on social media. Thank you for listening, and please share this with any of your dog-loving friends.